Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is Suzanne Wagner and welcome to the Numerology and the Astrology for July 22nd, 2020. If you add all those numbers together, you get a number 15. If you add the 1 and the 5 together, you get the number 6. The number 6 is the number of the Hermit. It's the number of introspection. It's the number of meditation, inner work, consciousness, discernment, music, art and creativity that opens up spirituality. Not that I think that all art is an opening up spirituality in some way, but to drop in and to find those creative expressions right now. So today is a day to stop, think, and then take action. A well-planned approach is going to help you in numerous ways. It takes time to have a well-thought-through strategy. You come up with an idea and then think it through on a lot of levels. Once you can see the pros and cons of an idea, you should either rework that idea or start over completely. Objectivity is the key to success. The willingness to totally let an idea or a construct go and completely start over is the sign of a very developed, advanced mind and soul and spirit. To do that, you have to know that you have to get to a place of calm and clarity within. We are in a world that wants to make the chaos so unsettling that you make poor choices and your actions become erratic and reactive. Then those that are causing the chaos get to label and blame you as the problem. Don't buy into the drama. Stand up and watch it unfold. Then act with deliberate clarity and conscious concern for this world. So in my numerology spread, I have a 6 in my numerology. And so this is something, a number that I'm very, very comfortable with. So in this COVID lockdown compared to everybody else, I actually am very comfortable being alone, being still, being introspective, being quiet. And, some people, will say to me, you keep a very tight place with your personal life. And I'm like, I don't really think I'm keeping a tight place on my personal life. I'm just very contemplative. It's like I try to really look at my thoughts, and I recognize that my thoughts are not necessarily the clearest part of my consciousness, and I sort of let them sit and I let them digest. And it doesn't mean that I don't have negative thoughts or angry thoughts or frustrating thoughts, but I recognize that they're just thoughts, and as long as I don't put them into action, you don't get a lot of the negative karmic consequence, and the thoughts are actually an indicator to me of places that I actually need to grow and evolve. So learning to keep my own counsel, I probably learned really well, and the number 6 is about absolutely learning to keep your own counsel and having your own spiritual access door and not depending on someone else to be your spiritual conscience or your spiritual access door. And I think I learned this really well as a ballet dancer. Many years ago when I was doing, we were doing Sleeping Beauty and I was doing Karabas. And I had been friends with a very famous dancer from the Royal Ballet that was extremely well known for her Karabas, and she and I were really, really good friends. And so we would sit over wine and we would talk about Karabas and the different ways you could play the character. And so out of probably all the people literally in the United States at that particular time, I was probably more educated about the pros and cons and the different views and the different styles and the different techniques of doing Karabas than probably anyone in the United States. And again, for me, it's like I don't share that with the dancers at the time because that would just be irritating to the dancers. And so they would think that I was being self-important or whatever. And so I tend to keep my own counsel. And so when I got the part of Karabas, I was very excited because I wanted to do this from a place that I had been manufacturing in my mind and my ego for many years. And the ballet mistress allowed me to do the rehearsals that way, and everything was fine until the dress rehearsal, and they put me in a costume that was a hag costume. And my character wasn't a hag. And I realized very quickly that my character was going to fail terribly in this costume. So there was one of two choices: to absolutely fail and look like a total idiot in a costume that was not fitting my character, because I had sort of a sleek, sophisticated character that Caraboss was so evil that she could make herself look beautiful, but she was rotten on the inside. And so she was toxic and nasty on the inside, but on the outside, she could look good. But their character that they wanted was basically like a man in drag playing a woman. And so I confronted the director and I said, well, why didn't you cast one of the gay guys to do this then? And he goes, well, the rehearsal directors wanted you to do this. They thought that you had it in you. But it was very clear from talking to him that I was actually set up to fail, and there's moments in time where you're being set up. And this was so clearly it, because they could have warned me that I was going to have a hag costume and then I could have been practicing a hag character, but they didn't do that. So I said, am I going to get a new costume? No. So you want a hag? Yes. You want me to be a woman playing a man in drag? And they said yes. And I left and I had this battle with my ego. An enormous battle with my ego, because my ego was incredibly attached from years of talking about this character, analyzing this character, historically researching this character, something that was very, very important to me. And as they say in Buddhism, attachment is the root of all suffering. And I was suffering because I was incredibly attached. And I realized that I had to let my character go. I had to drop it like a hot potato. And the only way you can do that is to go into that 6 vibration and to recognize that in the emptiness is an answer. And most people are afraid to drop into the emptiness, because to get to the emptiness, you have to drop into a place that all of your emotions come up, all of your conversations come up, all of your judgments come up, all of your projections come up. How the hell did this happen? Why did he do this to me? Da 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 da. Like all these conversations. And so I try, unsuccessfully, but I try to look at all those conversations and just recognize that they're rationales of a desperate ego getting ready to die. And so I completely dropped my character and I pulled into my deepest tootskies and found a nasty, vicious, ugly, twisted, distorted, demented, psychotic hag, which my ego was not thrilled that I had to go find this character. And it was the single most profound shift in my consciousness that I think I ever did, because I had to discover a part of myself I never wanted to discover, which is what happens when you drop in, when you're confronted by a situation that the answers that you have no longer fit the situation. And all of a sudden, they had my picture in Dance Magazine. I'm like the most amazing Caraboss, then the 20th century, blah, 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 right? Which I didn't feel was true, by the way. But, it was interesting that I got acclaimed for dropping my really beautifully constructed character and falling into a messy, miserable, nasty, conniving, vicious character that I don't ever like to see myself as a part of. And what I did in doing that is that I reclaimed my own shadow. And as I claimed my own shadow, the director comes back and he goes, well, I didn't think you had it in you, dear. And so once again, it proved that I was being set up. I was actually being set up to fail. And so I learned a really great lesson there, which is that the places that you don't want to go are almost always the places that you need to go. And I give this long story at the beginning of this video because we are in a place in the world right now that none of us want to go. I'll just be clear. I don't want to go here. Nobody wants to go here. And yet I do believe that there is an incredible gift at the end of this about us reclaiming our shadow, reclaiming our viciousness, our toxicity, our racist sides, our our blindness to the suffering that African Americans and people of color have been going through for centuries. And I think waking up is hard to do. I think it's incredibly difficult to do. So the number 6 day is this day that, I find most people go, oh, the number 6 day, that they don't like it because you have to drop in and you have to be reflective and you have to contemplate and you have to slow down your mind and slow down your thoughts and really look at them. And if you really look at your thoughts, they're not so good. I mean, they're kind of disgusting, really. I mean, on a lot of levels. But I know that my thoughts aren't me. And your thoughts aren't you, and your feelings aren't you. Your feelings are an expression of emotions that are trying to come up, but they're not who your soul really is. Your soul is bigger and vaster than all of that. So I believe that this time that we're in is powerful, and I hope that you take the time today to kind of really sit and drop in and be still. I called my sister, and my sister is a doctor, and you can imagine the stress that she is under. It's monumental, especially because they're firing doctors. And so the pressure is incredibly intense. And I said, what are you doing? And she said, I'm painting. And I go, well, there's a good 6 day thing to be doing, to be painting. And she says, it's the only thing that stills my mind, stills my thoughts, drops me in and helps me focus in a way that's constructive, and I feel like I can rest. And so maybe painting is a good idea today. Maybe photography is a good idea today. So anything that will help you drop in is a good idea. Okay, now the astrology for today. Wednesday is a friendly day as Mercury is in harmony with eclectic, innovative, and engaging Uranus. So explore ideas and meet people who are different. The sun finally enters the playful and hope-filled sign of Leo today. Yay! And the moon is ending its 2.5 day run through Leo. Yay! And so hearts hopefully will be more open and let the love overflow into the areas that you need it the most. In the evening, the moon is going to go into the meticulous and perfectionistic sign of Virgo. Attention to detail is the name of the game. It is time to think ahead and put things together. You are going to need the resources and plans shortly. Best to get organized now while you have a moment and you have the positive energy. With the sun going into Leo, your personal individuality becomes important. It is not enough to be part of a team. You are seeking your own unique expression. A bit of drama and bright colors are a great way to redefine and put a smile on faces. Express yourself, be generous, and do something that makes a huge difference in the lives of others. Be careful to not get too self-centered or arrogant. Know what you can and can't do. Break up the routine. Try something new and interesting. I know it sounds simplistic because you've already tried so many things again and again to do it very differently than you've ever done it before. And I know you're looking at me like, ugh. Suzanne, like, that's all I've been doing. I'm like, I'm sorry, I know. Perhaps it's time to take a bigger project that you could have avoided, that you have been avoiding for years, okay? Just think how much you want to check that big thing off your list and how great it will be to feel to not have that old thing hanging over your head. Completions always give you your heart and soul a lift. My quote for today. Right now, it is impossible to know all the information. That is why who is right or wrong is a ridiculous discussion to trying to be having. All you have to do is do what is morally and ethically right. All you can do is follow the paths that lead to kindness and compassion. All you can do is to make choices that you will not regret later. All right. I got that out somehow. All right. My blog for today. I remember when times seemed so simple and peaceful. While life is always going to throw something at you, like new and various things, it still seemed that it had a rhythm and a pattern that supported stability and productivity. Now things are in such an insane and constant flux that it is not just destabilizing for families and values, but for the very stability and fabric of our country. Those that contribute to this continued chaos have reserved for themselves a very special place in hell, where they will have to ask forgiveness from those they have harmed. And they will not be given a chance to be released until that forgiveness is offered from each of those people that they harmed from a sincere heart. And then, even then, those perpetrators will have to forgive themselves and then reincarnate to be the victim of someone doing the same to them. They will have to learn by feeling both sides of the equation. That is how this world works. Welcome to the games and rules of karma. That is unfortunately how humanity learns. In this world of duality, you must witness both sides and choose the places that you stand, light or dark. When you can integrate all sides and stand in wholeness and harmony within yourself, then you can begin to become a master within this domain. You cannot be released from this world without becoming a fully integrated consciousness. All parts of yourself have to be loved and find the proper place within that supports clarity and kindness. The human failings have to be faced and learned to be overcome by the highest vibrations that are possible within your soul. Notice if you are seeking lower vibrations out of a need for a thrill or a desire to be right. That is just a part that needs to be integrated and loved. If you cannot love that part within, then you will judge it out in the external world. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.